Through my dreams and my old team ran too far. Posted up with the damn.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Angelo's World. Welcome back to my world. Today we're going to be reacting to the N.W.A beef. What happened? I would really like to know what really happened to N.W.A, man, because if you guys didn't know, which I know I have some people around my age, N.W.A was the most influential group back in the 80s, late 80s. And because of contractual incidences, they ended up leaving and stuff like that. So I want to check this out, man. Smash that like button and let's get straight to it.
Dr. Dre, that was, you remember that group, the World Class Wrecking Crew?
Yeah.
That wore lipstick, stick lace, biker shorts, and, you know, ruffles, eyeliner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you go look back to his old albums before where he did songs like The Cabbage Patch, The Fly, He's Bionic, Dr. Dre, and you look back at him in his doctor suit, you could tell where he originally came from. See, if you look back at me, my beginning, I did the Boys in the Hood. So I was cruising down the street in my 6'4". So it's 93 now, and Dre is all of a sudden cruising down the street in his 6'4" now. So I figured he like a 93 wannabe. Because back then, he did all this.
Now, E. Okay, wait. See, okay. Because again, we don't know the full story. I'm not gonna go off of the movie, but movie-wise, you didn't know how to rap. He literally taught you how to put the punchline in the right place, I guess. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. But you weren't originally a rapper. You were a drug dealer, or whatever the fuck you was doing, but you weren't already a rapper. So for you to say you were no, I don't know how true it is. Y'all let me know. But yeah,
Cabbage Patch stuff and dancing and wore the lipstick, the doctor outfits with the stethoscope, and did all this techno music. He was never really from the streets.
Ice Cube won't pump it up. I got all suckers 100 miles and running.
Like to give a shout out to the DOC.
Y'all can't complain.
Yeah, we can do an N.W.A Reunion album if it's on Death Row.
Death Row.
Without easy.
Without
It's gonna
easy.
be called N.W.E. You know? Without easy.
that wouldn't even make sense. And what the fuck was N.W.A?
If you want to watch the uncut and uncensored version of the breakup of N.W.A, What Happened, check out my Patreon. The link will be in the description. Memberships for the bronze tier start off at $5 a month, which gives you access to videos early, uncut and uncensored videos, and a shout out in every video. The silver tier is $10 a month, which gives you all those benefits of the bronze tier, plus you get exclusive Patreon only videos coming soon, and you get to personally request me the next video you want to see on the channel. I want to give a shout out to all my patrons: Wavy Prince, 100 LaFlair, Jody Bird, Sherrod Swafford, Hakeem Olajuwon, G Phantom, PJ Rollins, and Adam Miles. I love all y'all. Thanks for the support and enjoy the video. In the late 1980s, a street gangster in Compton by the name of Eric Wright was hustling throughout the city. Eric wanted to make a legit living to leave the gang life behind him after his cousin was shot and killed, so he decided to pursue music. Around this time, hip-hop was on the rise, with the likes of Run DMC, LL Cool J, and the Beastie Boys being at the top of the game. During this time, a guy named Jerry Heller was managing acts in the LA hip-hop scene. He managed a rap trio called CIA, which consisted of rappers KD, Sir Jinx, and Ice Cube. Heller also managed an electro group called World Class Wrecking Crew, which consisted of Shakespeare, Dr. Rock, Clientele, DJ Alonzo Williams, Mona Lisa, DJ Yella, and of course, Dr. Dre.
Wow, I did not know that. Cause again, based off the movie, right? Like they found like they did a performance. See, this is why did they fuck the movie up so bad? That's crazy. So Jerry Heller already knew Dr. Dre, and that's crazy, bro. And he already knew Ice Cube.
In 1985, the World Class Wrecking Crew dropped their debut studio album, World Class, followed up by their second studio album in 1986 called Wrapped in a Romance. During this time, Eric would eventually meet with Jerry Heller to form his record label Ruthless Records, who introduced him to Dr. Dre and Arabian Prince. After that, they would recruit Ice Cube to ghostwrite lyrics. In 1987, Easy would also sign MC Ren and DJ Yella to Ruthless Records as they were gearing up to drop their first album. Eric wanted to do something that hip-hop has never seen before. Eric wanted to take his gangsta background and put it on a record, which was the birth of gangsta rap, because nobody was rapping about the things that go on in the streets. During a recording session in early 1987, the group HBO rejected a song that Ice Cube had wrote for them called Boys in the Hood. So as they were all in the studio, they all encouraged Eric to actually rap the song himself. Now, Eric had no intentions on being a rapper at all.
Okay.
He was just the founder of the record company.
Okay, so the movie was right. Oh, that's all. Okay.
That night, Eric recorded the track Boys in the Hood, adopting the rap name Eazy-E, and on March 3rd, 1987, the track was officially released. After that, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, DJ Yella, MC Ren, and Arabian Prince would get together to form the group known as N.W.A. Later that year, on November 6th, 1987, N.W.A. dropped their compilation album called N.W.A. and the Posse, which would eventually go on to be certified gold. N.W.A. followed up with their official debut studio album, Straight Outta Compton, on August 8th, 1988, and this is where the controversy began. The song Fuck the Police stirred a lot of attention from news outlets and even the FBI, who even gave them a warning, and this is where the world's most dangerous group moniker was born. This album went on to be over 3 times platinum and is regarded as one of the most impactful albums to date. During this time, Eazy-E was clearly the star of N.W.A., as they were being booked for shows as Eazy-E and N.W.A., so they knew Eazy had to capitalize and drop a solo album, so that's exactly what he did. And on November 23rd, 1988, Eazy-E dropped his debut studio album, Easy Does It, which would go on to be certified gold on February 15th, 1989, just 4 months after its release. That June of 1989, the album went on to be certified platinum, which goes to show how big N.W.A. and Eazy-E were becoming. After this is where tensions would begin rising within the group. Later that year, in December 1989, Ice Cube left the group over royalty disputes. After he wrote a majority of the songs on Straight Outta Compton, he felt he wasn't getting his fair share of profits, especially after only receiving $32,000 for writing most of Eazy-E's debut album. Ice Cube would go on to sue Jerry Heller and the law.
He wrote most of Eazy-E's debut album? He should have... Okay, so he wrote most of Eazy-E's debut album and only got $32,000. Y'all think that's fair? $32K, and you wrote damn near all his music. Even Boys in the Hood, the one that put him on for real. That's crazy.
Suit was settled out of court.
Was your only problem really deep with Easy, or was it other people? Were you good with Ren?
Jerry Heller.
It was just
wasn't
Jerry.
even Easy. You know, I felt Easy didn't know the business enough. You know, this is how I felt, because I remember him coming into it. He came in, you know, kind of wide-eyed. What do we do? You know, I'm ready to do this. You know, so I felt like he wasn't savvy enough to pull this without Jerry Heller's, you know, coaxing and you know, showing him how to make it happen the way Jerry wanted it to happen. So I was just mad at that dude because he wouldn't give me my contract. You know, I just wanted, let me see it. Let me take it to my people. You know, the normal stuff you do when you get a contract.
Of course.
And he was like, I don't know, you know, I can't give it to you. You can sign it, but I can't give it to you. So that was shady. And so I had a problem with him.
You're good with the
I
members.
was good with everybody. A little mad at E because I felt E wasn't taking the right side. You know, I felt E
He was kind of under
wasn't
his.
doing enough to keep me in the group. You know, it was kind of like, yo, this is how it is. Yo, you can live with it, or you can get out the group like Arabian Prince. You know, who was the sixth member on the damn album cover.
Miss
If you
him,
see us,
man.
you miss Arabian, don't
That's
you?
Arabian Prince. Man. He was my favorite.
He was my friend.
He was
People
my
say, who's your
favorite,
favorite member? And I'd be like, Arabian Prince.
Yeah. So, you know, no more panic zones for you guys. You know what I mean? Anyway, you know, he had left, and basically he was like, yo, you know, you can go out and be a flop like Arabian Prince. You know, that was his exact quotes, you know, and I was like, damn, that ain't gonna happen, bruh. You know, so then that's kind of when that went sour. But me and Ren was tight, me and Yella, me and Dre. But then the months and months away from the group, you know, I guess they
had to still keep working, and then they were like, well, he's gone, Cube is gone, we gotta keep this ship going.
Oh, I expected them to keep going. You know, I just didn't expect them to diss because it was no beef like that. It was just basically business.
I wonder if it's because time goes on and people keep asking you about
that's
Cube,
what it is.
and people are in your ear, and then all of a sudden it becomes nastier. But then you were ready to handle it on your own.
I mean, if you listen to America's Most Wanted, it's
Many
no
times.
dissing. It's no, I don't diss N.W.A. Don't mention
Yeah, no.
N.W.A. Eazy-E. It's no dissing, and that record was the next record to come out after Straight Outta Compton. And then they had to diss with 100 Miles and Running. I came back with Jacking for Beats with a little diss at the end.
There you go.
And then it just started to escalate.
Here we go.
After that, Ice Cube called Dre because he wanted him to work on his solo album, but Eazy-E and Jerry Heller actually vetoed it. So Ice Cube recorded his debut solo album in New York with Public Enemy's production team. On April 7th, 1990, Ice Cube was at the Celebrity Theater in Anaheim, California, where he was involved in a fight with the rap group Above the Law, who were signed to Ruthless Records. A month later, on May 16th, 1990, Ice Cube dropped his debut studio album, America's Most Wanted, which released under Priority Records and was insanely successful, going gold just 2 weeks after its release. But Cube didn't mention his former N.W.A. members at
Only 2 weeks after its release, it's already gold, nigga? That just shows how tight Ice Cube's pen was. 2 weeks after its release, already gold.
all on this album. Just a couple months later, on August 14th, 1990, N.W.A. dropped their EP 100 Miles and Runnin'. And on the track Real N-Words, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and Eazy-E take subliminal shots at Ice Cube.
Only reason your record is 'cause they thought it was up.
Cube got wind of this, so on December 18th, 1990, Ice Cube dropped an EP called Kill at Will, which had 2 tracks where he referenced N.W.A. On the track called Jacket for Beats, at the end of the track, Cube sent shots back at N.W.A.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recording.
Cube sent shots back at N.W.A.
And if I track you and you keep coming, I have you march 100 miles and run.
On the track, I Gotta Say What Up, Ice Cube says what's up to all the rappers in the game, giving them praise, but he then disses N.W.A., saying that they haven't done shit. And at the end of the skit, the operator on the phone asks what's up with the rest of the crew, referring to N.W.A., in which Ice Cube hung up the phone abruptly.
Hey, yo, Ice Cube, man, since you went solo, what's up with the rest of the group?
A new album, and what we gonna call it? Tell them the name. What we call it? Tell them the name.
We're gonna fuck Ice Cube.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm good nigga from Compton.
Not around here, Bubba.
Now you hollering at South Central. Make up your goddamn mind.
Fuck him.
N-B-I-T-C-H-M-O-B. This evening's news report, Ice Cube has been reported to have his stomach pumped for 5 ounces of semen.
Cube would also start dissing N.W.A. during interviews, so N.W.A. clapped back on May 28th, 1991, when they dropped their second studio album, N-Words for Life, and on a couple of the tracks, they diss Ice Cube. It started off on the track Always Into Something.
He got in the Benz and said, Dre, I was speaking to your bitch, O'Shea.
The next track was a skit called Message to B.A., which was a whole skit dedicated to dissing Ice Cube.
Hello, I was at the Celebrity, and I was wondering why that punk Ice Cube was crying after he got his beat by ATL.
Ice Cube got wind of this, and he had enough of N.W.A. dissing him throughout their projects. So on October 29th, 1991, Ice Cube dropped his second studio album, Death Certificate, and the last track on this album is a song called No Vaseline, which is a diss track towards the entire N.W.A., including Jerry Heller, where Cube aired all of his feelings towards his former group to make one of...
And boy, when I tell y'all this motherfucking album, this song on it, I ain't listened to the full album, but this particular song on the album, just listen. If you haven't heard it, just listen.
Greatest diss tracks hip-hop has ever seen. After this is when N.W.A. would completely fall apart. In late 1991, Dr. Dre became dissatisfied with his deal at Ruthless Records, which led to Dre and the DOC leaving N.W.A. and Ruthless Records, feeling that Eazy-E was being dishonest about their contracts. Dr. Dre's bodyguard named Suge Knight approached Dre with the idea of forming a label away from Jerry Heller and Eazy-E. Suge Knight was able to procure contracts from Eazy-E, so the DOC, Dre, Suge Knight, and Dick Griffey began the process of starting a record label. The original name was Future Shock, but the DOC suggested that the name to be Def Row as a play on Def Jam, but rights to the name were already owned, so this is where they would adopt the name Death Row Records. At this point, all members of N.W.A. were now solo artists, as N.W.A. was no longer together, but this is where a rivalry began between Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, because Eazy actually retained a portion of Dr. Dre's publishing rights and wouldn't release Dre and the DOC, as he wouldn't sign their releases. Suge Knight allegedly pulled up to the studio with gang members with lead pipes and baseball bats to make Eazy release Dre and the DOC from their Ruthless Records contracts, and allegedly jumped Eazy-E for not signing the contracts. Now, this is all alleged, and there is no confirmation that this even happened. Suge even threatened Eazy, allegedly saying, in quotes, "We know where your mother lives," insinuating that they were going to do something to Eazy-E's mom. And Suge also told Eazy, allegedly, that he kidnapped Jerry Heller and was holding him prisoner in a van. So as you could tell, things were getting really heated between Death Row and Ruthless.
Suge tried to destroy my record company with the help of others, Dre. So right now we're getting everything back together and we finna come out, fully loaded.
Eazy was smart. He took the formal route with legal action, following a lawsuit on Dre, Suge, and the DOC, accusing them of using force and threats to break recording contracts with Ruthless. Death Row's parent label Interscope saw Jimmy Iovine pleading with Eazy for some type of out-of-court settlement so they wouldn't have negative press surrounding Dr. Dre's solo album release. A settlement was released that said Eazy would pocket 10% of Dr. Dre's production revenue, 15% of his solo record revenue, and as compensation an instant cash payout.
I came in the office and he and Eazy were talking. And I said, "What's going on here?" And Eazy said, "You know this guy Suge Knight?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, I'm going to kill him." He said, "This guy's going to be a problem, and I think I should kill him."
Jerry would then talk Eazy-E out of killing Suge Knight, but he would later say that he regrets talking him out of doing it. Around this time, Dre discovered an artist by the name of Calvin Brodus. The world would get to know this rapper as Snoop Dogg. On April 9th, 1992, Dr. Dre made his solo debut when he dropped the track Deep Cover, which was for the soundtrack for the film. This is where the world would be introduced to Dr. Dre's new protege, Snoop Dogg. On November 17th, 1992, Ice Cube dropped his third studio album, The Predator, and on the title track, The Predator, Cube takes shots at Jerry Heller.
Jerry Heller is a double packer, coming with a crazy pitch.
Later that year, on December 15th, 1992, Dr. Dre dropped his debut studio album, The Chronic, which would go on to be multi-platinum and very successful. On this album, the second track was called F*** with Dre Day, featuring Jewel, RBX, and of course, Snoop Dogg. This was a diss track towards Eazy-E, and shots were also thrown at Ice Cube in response to his No Vaseline diss track. The music video for this song features an Eazy-E lookalike called
Okay, that part was kind of you doing that. You kind of late, my guy. Like you should have done it right then and there after. You feel me? Which you did, but it's like you already did it with N.W.A. So why would you go back in 1992 a full year later after? Like that don't make sense to me. But
Sleazy E, and a parody of Jerry Heller.
So strap on your Compton hats and loafs and watch your back, cause you might get smoked, loaf.
On the track "Bitches Ain't Shit," on his verse, Dr. Dre once again dissed Eazy-E when he brought up when Eazy sued him.
I used to know a named Mary Wright. We used to roll around that house at night.
That same day, Eazy-E dropped his EP called 5150 Home for the Sick, which was intended to promote his next album, Temporary Insanity, which was scheduled for a May 1993 release. But after hearing Dre and Snoop dissing him, he actually scrapped the entire album and began working on a diss album towards Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. In 1993, Eazy would find two brothers in Compton rapping by the name of Gangsta Dresta and BG Knockout, and he decided to take them under his wing. They would then record a diss track on Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg called Real Motherfucking G's. Throughout the year, they would promote the song on several interviews while dissing Dre and Snoop, calling them studio gangsters.
What about your group? Look like everybody from your group, N.W.A, has now become single artists themselves and pretty big. Are you still friends with your group?
A couple of them. Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Yella.
Okay, what about the other one?
Who? What are you talking about?
All right. Okay.
Remember the guy that was Dr. Dre?
Yeah.
That was, you remember that group, the World Class Wrecking Crew?
Yeah.
That wore lipstick, stick lace, biker shorts, and, ruffles, eyeliner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you go look back like to his old albums before where he did songs like The Cabbage Patch, The Fly, He's Bionic, Dr. Dre, and you look back at him in his doctor suit, you could tell where he originally came from. See, if you look back at me, my beginning, I did the Boys in the Hood. So I was cruising down the street in my 6'4". So it's 93 now, and Dre is all of a sudden cruising down the street in his 6'4" now. So I figured he like a 93 wannabe. Because back then, he did all this Cabbage Patch stuff and dancing and wore the lipstick and the doctor outfits with the stethoscope and did all this techno music. He was never really from the streets. And I figured, like, what he talking about? He said he's got a song I called G Thing. I figured G stuff come from the concrete, and that's the streets, which he was never from the streets. Only reason why people affiliate him with the streets is through me. So it's like, where we from, Compton and Long Beach, they don't get along with each other. See, like people in Compton really don't, claim Dre as being from Compton, and they don't claim Snoop from being from Long Beach. So it's like, it's a whole little gimmick he got. It's not real.
Well, at least you put the word Compton on the map, the city of Compton on the map.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you ever at one time, you had Dre on your label at one time?
Bro.
Or was he with you?
He was in N.W.A.
Okay.
And he was a producer
Okay.
for Ruthless Records.
All right. So Snoop Dogg was never with you?
Nah, he was never with me.
I noticed you're very short on those two those two names. You have very little to
I
say.
can talk about them all day. I mean, I make money from Dre and Snoop, so it don't matter. It's all good.
Have you and Dre ran into each other on one-on-one?
Yeah, Dre stays right around the corner from me, but when he sees me, he ducks his head because he's scared to face me.
Damn. Why?
Why? Because he's screwed up.
Why would he want to dump? What reason would he have to dump on you?
He would have it to what?
What reason would he have to dump you, to talk about
Dump
you?
me?
To diss you?
Somebody put him up to that. See, Dre now works for somebody that used to work for him. And how he claims that Death Row is his, it's somebody else. It's a bodyguard that used to work for Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Dre now works for him. So he all screwed up.
Oh, okay. So in other words, it's like leave Easy's album and
come over here, and then it was like a little threatening and of everything. It got kind of serious.
Mm-hmm.
Where it got so serious with Dre, owed these people so much money that he burned his house down.
he ended up getting shot because he owed money, and he got nothing but problems. You see all the other problems he having now. On the road, they canceled his tour.
Rest in peace, Eazy-E, man.
What about, was this something about one of his boys still in a van or doing a drive-by? Is that true?
They stole a van, supposed to be in Milwaukee, when they was on the road. I guess they jacked the van drivers for the van. And then Snoop was involved in a drive-by shooting.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. He out on bail right now.
Damn.
But hey, good luck, brother.
What is that going to do to our to the fans that love you and that look up, not the love the rap music? How do you think they take things like that? As far as their heroes or their idols doing drive-bys,
Nigga, what the fuck they
hijacking?
People out here take it, but people out there know how he really was. He was a dancer. Now he's trying to live a fantasy of stuff that he rap about. And they think he's perpetrating, really, or trying to be hard, or trying to live up to everything that they're talking about, basically. But out here, I don't know.
A new single? It's called Real Compton City G's. It's all about, I'll let them explain,
It's all about real from Compton. And putting all them that's claiming they from Compton out the picture because they really ain't from Compton. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Just setting the record straight.
Basically, it's talking about Dre for hollering that he's a, real Compton City G. And,
he was everybody
from the world-class wrecking crew and everything. We're talking about studio gangsters.
That's right.
That's what we basically talking about.
Busters.
And he got the whole world fooled like he's some hardcore gangster from the streets and they ain't never stomped on no Compton concrete.
That's right. Go pick the EP up and check the back of the EP out. Y'all check it out. See how my man was looking a few years ago. Check him out with the Wrecking Crew. Lipstick and Lace.
But anyway, that's basically what we're talking about. Studio gangsters, I'll let my man Knockout tell you about studio gangsters.
Studio gangster is Dr. Dre.
That's B Knockout. What the? That nigga look different as shit. What the hell? Cause I seen interviews. He was on DJ Vlad doing interviews, and he looked way different. Like look him up, y'all. And bro, like what the fuck? Like literally way different, bro.
Dash, Corrupt, that bitch Rage, you know what I'm saying? Them studio gangsters. That's a perfect example of a studio gangster. This is a real G right here. BG Knockout, straight out of Compton, you know what I'm saying?
Studio gangsters is who ain't really did nothing but representing turfs that they never did nothing for. Saying that their own records talking about how they done been to jail and did time and this and that, and they never been to jail.
Drake did time. He did time.
What kind of time he did?
Time with the Wrecking Crew.
That's right.
See, he didn't know nothing about doing street music until he hooked up with me anyway, He used to do all that techno stuff, the Fly,
turn off the lights,
Bionic, turn off the lights.
On August 26th, 1993, Eazy-E, Gangsta Dresta, and BG Knockout dropped the anticipated diss track Real Motherfucking G's. And in the music video, they actually hired the same Eazy-E lookalike that was in the Dre Day video and chased him around throughout the video. On this track, Eazy-E exposes Dre for not being a real gangsta and also says that he got paid from Dre's diss track towards him. A couple months later, in October 1993, Eazy-E dropped his EP, It's On, which was dedicated to dissing Dr. Dre. The cover of the EP is Eazy pouring a 40 for Dre, signifying his death. On the inside cover is a fake newspaper article which has an old picture of Dr. Dre from when he was a part of the world-class Wrecking Crew. And on top, it says that Dre died the day the EP dropped.
Yeah, I'm living swell, but I'm a gangster like Dresta. No, not the doctor, physician, or the MD. Dresta's an OG, doctor's a phony. Hey, Mr. Prankster, storybook gangster. Back in 86, you wore the pumps and mascara.
That same month, the music video for Dr. Dre's song Let Me Ride dropped, in which Ice Cube actually made a cameo appearance, so it appeared that Dre and Cube were on good terms. The next month, on November 23rd, 1993, Snoop Dogg dropped his debut studio album, Doggy Style, and on 2 of the tracks, he takes shots at Eazy-E. First on the skit, W, where he refers to him as Easy Dick.
Hey, don't forget about my homeboy Easy Dick in the jack off out.
And the next diss being on the skit called House Party.
He found low riding all of a sudden. I mean, he never did this stuff in his life, never. Now he's a hardcore G from the streets, Rich from N.W.A. He never sounded, tried to be so hard. All of a sudden he did so many murders and looting. And on his album, he's talking about he's looting a place that couldn't even been touched when the looting was going on. Right. He said they looted this place. That's how much, he know about the streets, really.
Okay, so he's not from Compton then?
Not original.
Throughout the year of 1994, Eazy-E spent this time recording his next album, which was set to release in 1995, called Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucking Compton 1 and 2, as it was set to be a double album. Later in 1994, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube would link up to drop the track Natural Born Killers for the soundtrack of the film Murder Was the Case, which was actually supposed to be for Dre and Cube's collab album called Helter Skelter, but the idea was scrapped altogether. During this time, it's speculated that N.W.A was planning a reunion for 1995. After that, N.W.A was set to reunite, but on February 24th, 1995, Eazy-E was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles with a violent cough. On March 16th, Eazy would send a final message to his fans saying, "Now I'm in the biggest fight of my life, and it ain't easy, but I want to say much love to those who have been down with me, and thanks for all your support. Just remember, it's your real time and your real life."
Rapper Eazy-E has died in Los Angeles after a battle with AIDS. Eazy-E, whose real name was Eric White, was a member of the group N.W.A, which helped popularize harsh...
Did you just say Eric White?
inner-city rap music. Wright only learned he had AIDS after being hospitalized last month because of some breathing problems. Wright was 31.
On March 26, 1995, Eazy-E tragically passed away from AIDS-induced pneumonia just 1 month after his diagnosis. On April 7, 1995, he was buried at Rolls Hills Memorial Park in Whittier, California. He was buried in a gold casket and was dressed in a flannel shirt, jeans, and his Compton hat. At the 1995 Source Awards, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube won Video of the Year for their song Natural Born Killers, and when Dre went to accept his award, during his speech, he showed love to Eazy-E.
Peace to everybody from the death row camp. Also gotta say, peace to the family and children of Eazy-E.
10 months later, on January 30th, 1996, Eazy-E's posthumous album Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucking Compton released. Eazy had a track with his former N.W.A member MC Ren, as Ren decided to do the song after Eazy died. But Eazy also had songs where he dissed Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. It starts off on the track Old School Shit, where Dresta, BG Knockout, and Eazy send shots at Dre and Snoop.
Wanna be like me, be a G like me, but I'm the that made a G out of G out easy. I was the captain, played with my sidekick.
The track What Would You Do is a full-blown death row diss track where Eazy-E disses Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, Daz, and Corrupt. The hook of the song is a spin-off of the Dog Pound song What Would You Do, as they threaten to come to Snoop Dogg's house. At the end of the track, Eazy has a terrifying skit of him actually pulling up to Snoop Dogg's house and shooting it up. A couple years later, on June 30th, 1998, MC Ren dropped his third studio album, Ruthless for Life, and on this album is a track called Comin' After You with Ice Cube. On November 16th, 1999, Dr. Dre dropped his second studio album, 2001, and on the track What's the Difference?, he pays tribute to Eazy-E, saying that he misses him. In 1999, N.W.A was actually planning to drop a comeback album called Not These N-Words Again, but due to busy conflicting schedules, that album never came to be, but two tracks that were on the album originally would end up being released. The song Chin Check was released on The Next Friday soundtrack on December 14th, 1999, and the track Hello was released on Ice Cube's sixth studio album, War and Peace Volume 2, on March 21st, 2000. A couple years later, on March 26th, 2002, the 7-year anniversary of Eazy-E's death, his posthumous EP, Impact of a Legend, released. And on a couple of the tracks, he sent shots at Dre and Snoop.
Now what the f is worse than one punk guy? Two punk add 'em up and get the picture. One's a fucking f from the days and one's a buster.
The track Switches, Eazy does a play on Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's hit song Nothing But a G-Thang. After that, nothing really happened for a while, but fast forward to February 1st, 2011, Dr. Dre dropped his single I Need a Doctor with Eminem and Skylar Grey. On his verse, Dre reminisces on N.W.A.
With the friends, some of them I put on, but they just left. They said they was riding to the death, but where the f are they now that I need them?
Fast forward 4 years later in 2015, the movie Straight Outta Compton came out and was a massive success. Upon the movie releasing, we actually saw N.W.A. have a reunion performance at BET Experience. This would be followed with another reunion performance at Coachella 2016 the next year. In 2016, N.W.A. would be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they got together to give their acceptance speeches at the induction ceremony. N.W.A. is arguably the greatest rap group of all time. The impact they had on hip-hop will live on forever. Even though they had their differences, they managed to reunite in the end of it all. Before the ending of this video, I want to give an RIP to the godfather of gangsta rap, Eric Wright, otherwise known as Eazy-E. You changed rap music as we know it forever, and your legacy will never die.
Man, that's crazy, y'all. There's some shit in there that I did not know. I am happy I reacted to this, man, because it's something else, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Comment down below what you guys thought of this video and what other videos you guys would like to see. And smash that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss any other videos. Also, don't forget to check out my very last video. It's going to be right here. Michael Jackson's most iconic performances. Check that out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.